What's up, everybody? Welcome to another midweek chat with Jasmin. I'm your host, Jasmin Bryant, your brand visibility strategist with Fear No Video, and I help coaches and speakers and small business owners, women over 40, really, those of us who are all like, I don't know what to do. I don't know the tech. I don't know the camera. I'm afraid. I'm nervous. I'm nauseous, all those things. I help you get over it. And I help you to become more visible so you can make more money. And today, I'm really excited because we're talking with TammyRenee. She is a visionary life strategist, a transformational speaker, and an author who empowers individuals to align their ambition with their purpose. And that's the topic for today is aligning your ambition with your purpose and really helping you do it in a way that's not icky and in a way that feels like it's doable and not overwhelming. So, Tammy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here and have this chat with you.
Thanks. Yeah, I think this will be really good because for so many of the folks in our audience, you have a vision, you know what it is that you want to do. You kind of maybe sort of have an idea on how to get there, but there's something that's missing. And sometimes, a lot of times, I think what's missing is that alignment.
Uh-huh.
Would you agree? Like people are just not really
I
aligned with what they want to do.
yeah, I definitely agree because I've been there. So, exactly what you're saying. Sometimes we will go through life doing something that's not aligned with us, and we never
Mhm.
hit that end point of what we feel like we should be at, right? But when you align when you align your desires, so when I look at ambitions and I look at alignment, it's aligning your desires with your actions.
Mhm.
So when your soul tells you something, you do it, right? And
Yeah.
that's the action. To me, that's alignment for yourself. Some people will look at alignment. Another way to kind of give it a general view so that you can kind of have an understanding. If you have two people and one is a let's say you're on a rowboat. We're gonna do a
Mhm.
rowboat. They're on a
Okay.
rowboat. And you have
So
one on one side and you
mhm.
have the other on the other side. Now they have to row, but they have to be in alignment to move
Mhm.
forward. If one is rowing the opposite way, it's going to stall the movement.
Mhm.
So it's working together. Two things working together is the alignment, and your
Mhm.
ambition is your desires.
Okay. So, well, let me ask you, because one of the things that may okay, let me back up to what I'm saying here. So, all right, say we've got someone who has a vision, they have an ambition, they like this is my purpose, but it's not working out the way that they thought. So, is this a case where they might really be misaligned or in this they need to pivot or shift, or is this a case where just something isn't working and they need to figure out what that is? Does that make any sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
So there's two approaches to that. You have two
Mhm.
things, you have two different approaches. So let's take the easy one first.
Okay.
The easy one, well, actually, the easy one will come after you figure out the hard one. So let's take the hard one first.
Okay.
When you have your vision and there's something that you feel you're trying to achieve, whether it's true or not to you, but you believe it's true, first of all, you have to figure out why you want this. You
Mhm.
have to figure out all the reasons, not just your whys, but also your wants with that.
Mhm.
And it has to be in line with your core values. So, for example, if I want to be a travel agent, we'll do that one.
Mhm.
If I
Okay.
want to be a travel agent and I'm like, oh, that's my dream. I want to be a travel agent, but I never travel.
Mm. Yeah.
How can I be a travel agent?
Yeah.
Because it's the experience through it. Now, I'm a travel agent. Let's hypothetically say I'm a travel agent. I worked so hard. So this is going to get to be. I
Okay.
worked so hard. I became a travel agent. And then I decide one day, I think I'm going to get on a plane and go to Greece.
Mm-hmm.
You get on that plane and you hate it. You hate every minute. You hate all those hours because travel was never aligned with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're selling something that's never aligned with you. And let's say you're making 75,000. I'll give it a decent number. You're making $80,000 a year. But imagine if you were doing something that was aligned with you, you
Mm-hmm.
probably double that.
Yeah.
Because of all the effort you're putting in, you're probably, if it's not aligned, you're going to put in a lot of effort. So that's one way to know. If you're
Okay.
working so hard and you're not making any movement, you're probably not aligned with it. And it's either not aligned with where you're supposed to go,
Mm-hmm.
or your actions are not aligned with where you're going.
Okay, that
Does
makes a
that
lot
make
of
sense?
sense. It does, it
Okay.
does. Because, I mean, I see that a lot with, like, my network marketing clients.
Mm-hmm.
They, like, I'm a former network marketer. I love direct sales, love the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I 1000% believed in the product that I was selling. And then I've worked with people who don't necessarily believe in. Oop, you okay?
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't want to lose a guest. That would be
No,
bad.
I should have got some water.
But like they didn't believe in the business model to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of on the fence about the product. And then they wondered why, oh, I'm not making any money with this product and with doing this business. So that's why the business model sucks. I'm not making any money. It's like, well, you don't believe in the business model, you don't believe in the product.
Right.
So maybe you should find another line of work.
Yes, yes. And that is, and that comes a lot down to, the hustle culture, actually.
Mhm.
They in the, because I used to be in that culture, but you're always working, trying to find that success. You're always going to the next job, the next thing, trying to find that success. But if they
Mhm.
just stop for a moment
Yeah.
and reflect on what it is they really want, what makes them feel good, what makes
Mhm.
them happy to talk about, what
Yeah.
makes these things, this energy rise in you when you are in alignment.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
love that. And Onifume, and if I mispronounced your name, I am so sorry. They say it makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I want to dig a little bit deeper into some of your expertise, more of your expertise. And so I know that, as my pen just decides to, so I know that you have your wave philosophy. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how it works?
Yes, wave philosophy is, I kind of discovered it, and it actually kind of goes with this alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So wave philosophy, I discovered actually during my own personal healing. So during the pandemic, I went on this journey. I went down to the ground. I went all the way beneath the ground to dig out myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it started because a coach had told me I had these natural skills, and she said intrinsic skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, who, what is that? Back then I didn't know what that was. So I did the rabbit. I went down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to try to understand, why did I do the things I did? Why did I trust my gut? Why did I make the decisions without having to contemplate too much that could have changed my life?
Mm-hmm.
What make me motivated? What keeps me going? And that's how I came up with wave. So wave stands for wisdom, awareness, vision, and energy. I
Nice.
am an energy healer, but I don't practice that way anymore.
Mhm.
But you're going to get it when you with me anyway, okay? So wisdom, it comes down to trusting yourself.
Mhm.
So you have to trust yourself and stop second guessing yourself in order to move forward. And it comes through your intuition and your critical thinking. You can't just be all intuition because
Yeah.
you're not consciously making the decision. You're just following it and going along and flying around, right? But if you mix the two, intuition and critical thinking, that's
Mhm.
when you have a solid answer, right?
Mhm.
Then you have your awareness, and awareness was not just only about the world around us, expanding that, it is also expanding the awareness of self. So digging deep and finding out what makes you tick, what makes you move this way or that way, what makes you happy, how do you react, and how do
Mhm.
you react to the reaction to help
Okay.
you balance that energy inside of you. Then there's the vision, and vision is about uh but vision shows you possibilities.
Mhm.
So whether you visualize it or a vision comes to you, it is possible that that will happen. So, value those visions you get, right? And
Yeah.
then energy is aligning yourself with your energy, and that is all about taking the action. That's your resilience, that's your
Mhm.
willpower, that's your creativity, and that is the part where you step into, not to make magic, but you step into to take action.
Mhm.
So when you put them all together and they are working together, I call that the wave effect, because you get into your flow and things happen easier. You able to bounce back faster, because we're all going to have these life challenges. They're not going to go away, right? And I do believe we're supposed to have them. So when you get into the wave effect, you're able to overcome those challenges easy. You're able to move past them and learn from them.
That's
Yes,
important.
yes, because as you're doing the awareness part, you're aware you're in the lesson. You're aware of
Mhm.
the things that you are doing. You're aware of how you feel. So when it works together, I call it the wave effect, and I love it.
It makes so much sense because you need all of those things in order to be successful in life and in business.
Hmm.
You have to have some wisdom. I mean, because dodos rarely make it.
Right.
You know, there are a few, but they rarely make it. And you need to be aware of what's going on, who you are,
Hmm.
and that, kind of goes like I'm always talking about being authentic and being yourself. And so being aware of who you are helps you to be authentic and
Hmm.
in your messaging and your branding and in, building your business.
Yes.
So, I mean, you need all of that.
Yes.
Um, and so you use your way philosophy to help entrepreneurs to
Tap
grow.
into, yes. So I use wave philosophy. So I'm your inside girl.
Okay.
Everybody gives outside tools, right?
Mhm.
We will take a course over and over and over and learn from a different person and a different person. But if it ain't aligned with you, you're gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
So then that's when you come to me and be like, I got all these tools. What do I do with them? And that's when we go more inward to find things that are aligned with where you're going. And using
Mhm.
your already outside tools,
Mhm.
combining it with your inside tools, which is your intuition, which is your critical
Mhm.
thinking, which is visualizing, which is your energy, creative
Mhm.
energy, creativity.
Mhm.
So I teach you how to tap into all of those internal tools
Yeah.
to use it for your benefit, to grow your business, change your life, transform your life, get outside that comfort zone.
Ah, people love the comfort zone.
Oh my God. I don't like the comfort zone.
Well, you and I were talking about this before we came on live. Like we're both we both love change.
Yeah.
And so I think that makes so much sense because, I'm a firm believer in amazing things happen once you have your comfort zone and then you just kind of jump out
Uh-huh.
from it. And it seems like you're the same. It's like, let me, take this comfort zone and then beat it in the face and move on.
Right. And because I look at it as getting out of your comfort zone, there's so many opportunities. If you're staying in your comfort zone, you miss so many
Yeah.
opportunities and possibilities.
Mhm.
So, because you're just surrounding yourself, it's almost like you got a wall around you,
Mhm.
and you're not letting anything in or out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
and we need to break down those walls, as Ronald Reagan said to Gorbachev in the 80s,
Yeah.
as I've
And
dated
a little
myself.
tip, yeah, a little tidbit, right? If you get outside your comfort zone, your wisdom grows.
Yes.
So if you don't, you're not gonna grow your wisdom. And that
Mhm.
is the one most important thing to growth is wisdom.
Yeah. And that's, and that's something that's not just for business. That's just
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
And whether you are working for yourself or you're working for someone else or you're, whatever it is that you're doing, that's just life. Like, you don't know what you don't know,
Right.
and you won't know anything more if you don't seek it out,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So I have some people in my life who are kind of like that. It's like, they want to be the smartest person in the room all the time, but they really don't actually know anything.
Right. They're just book smart. They're not experience smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They can rattle off facts like nobody's business,
Right.
but,
But
that's
life
neither here
don't
nor there.
operate on facts, right?
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
operates on action and and emotions.
Mhm. Yes, and they kinda lack in both of those. Um, but that's neither here nor there, and hopefully they're not watching. Um,
They're gonna be like, I'm gonna get you. 2 + 2.
right? It's like, who are you talking about? Okay. So what do you recommend for, someone who's trying to scale their success while kind of like maintaining their personal self, their fulfillment, and living the way that they, with their purpose, living in their alignment?
So the number one thing that I suggest at the very beginning, if you're going through this, or if you're in the middle of it and realize you need to do it, is you need to have boundaries.
Okay.
Because without those boundaries, everything else takes over, right? Your friends want you to do something, you stop doing this so you can go hang out with your friends. So now
Mhm.
you're becoming a people pleaser. So
Mhm.
one negative action leads to another negative action, to another negative action. And I don't even want to say actions, let's just say energy.
Yeah.
So if you don't have those boundaries, you're a free fall, but you're not getting anything in.
Done.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because you got walls up at that time.
Mhm.
And if you're not letting anything in, you're in your bubble.
Yeah.
So the first thing I say, and it's not the first thing people do, is to set
Mhm.
up boundaries because we want the support of the people we want the support from, right?
Yeah.
And that does not happen. So all you new entrepreneurs out there, just remember you are going to have to experience the lesson of boundaries because it is the only way to move forward. Because then in boundaries, you start to feel, without boundaries, you start to feel guilty for what you're doing.
Mhm.
You're kind of a little shy. You're not being authentic. You're keeping things away because you don't want to come out. You don't want to come out of, you don't want to come out of that wall because you
Yeah.
don't have boundaries up. So I definitely would say that's the first thing. Once you're able to set those boundaries, now you're able to go deeper within yourself without the
Mhm.
shame, without the guilt, without the pressures of fitting into society or
Mhm.
meeting the dreams of other people. That's one of my things I
Yeah.
like to talk about too, when you're living the dreams of other people and calling it your dream.
Yeah.
So those boundaries help you clear out all of that stuff. Any of it that you've accumulated over the years into your energy, when you
Mhm.
set those boundaries, it's the hardest thing that it is one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
But when you set that boundary, you start to clear out all of the things that are holding you down
Mm-hmm.
or holding you back. When I first started doing boundaries, when I say the next day, and you have to be sure you're setting the boundaries. Now, you can't say, I'm going to set this boundary and think you set the boundary. You got to prove you set the boundary, right?
Yeah.
But literally the next day, because I was very intentional, very firm, even made a phone call to do it. The next day, opportunities just started coming in.
Oh, wow.
So you have to make room
Mm-hmm.
for things to start coming in by taking down the walls and putting up a boundary.
Well, now let me ask you then. So what's the difference between walls and boundaries? Because I mean, it sounds like walls are bad, boundaries are good. But I'm being very like simplifying it, but tell us like more about the differences between them.
The way I look at walls and boundaries is very simple. It's very easy. I mean, I'm not even going to say that, but the way I look at boundaries and walls is very solid, right? It goes from
Mhm.
high to low. It is very solid. In that case, you are not letting anything in. Now,
Mhm.
you could still be given. You may give. That's when the people pleasing come in.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, you start
Yeah.
to shut down, right?
Mhm.
So after people pleasing, you shut down if you haven't set those boundaries. You still got walls
Okay.
up.
That makes sense. Mhm.
With walls, think of with boundaries, think of boundaries as a fence around your house. It's not all the way up, it's halfway down, but you also have a gate that you can
Mhm.
open. So now you can allow things inside of your personal space, which is your fence around your house.
Okay.
And that way you can allow things out also. If you have
Okay.
a friend who is a friend that, when you're around them and you're always feeling negative and they always they're the Debbie
Mhm.
Downer, right?
We all
And
have
you
those.
don't want to be around a Debbie Downer, right? You're
Yeah.
like, oh, but I feel obligated. You're people pleasing.
Mhm.
Or you're Debbie Downer and you don't want to be around your Debbie Downer. No, I'm just going to be sick today.
Can
Now you
we have
got
a
walls
wall and a moat? That
up.
can we have a wall and a moat with that person?
No, what you can do is like, I am not gonna hang out with no negative energy. So if you want to switch your energy, we can work on that. But I cannot take it. That is your
Right.
walls. That is not you running
Mhm.
away from it. That is not you hiding away from it. And that is not you giving up and just doing what they want you to do.
Mhm.
You're making the decision that this is not the energy you want to be in. And life is about making decisions.
Yeah.
So when you set those, and another thing, something else happened to me when I started. Two things happened to me. They're funny. I got to tell you real quick.
Okay.
Two things happened to me when I started setting boundaries. First thing that happened to me, my family was like, "You got walls up." And I'm like, I got walls up. No, I got boundaries up because they're so used to the walls where you're not giving out, where
Mhm.
you're not, well, walls is when you're not refusing them. So you do everything they want you to do. You become the
Mhm.
people pleaser and all this stuff. So they don't even care if you got walls or boundaries up. You're just doing what you do. So
Right.
when you set those boundaries up, they think it's walls.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, no, your boundaries are too strong. Why? Because I'm not giving in.
Yeah, I'm not giving you exactly what you want when you want it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was one example of when I started working on boundaries. The other example is someone actually thanked me and said, I have so much respect for the self-respect you have for yourself.
Oh, I love that.
Because boundaries is about respect,
Mhm.
right? And if you can't respect yourself, how are other people going to respect you?
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. And that is an amazing place to end our chat today.
Ah, I
I
can keep talking.
Oh, no, it's been great. It's been great. And so when I was looking down a couple minutes ago, I was putting in the comments your gift to the audience, which is wave setting boundaries. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So the boundary audit, that is the gift today. It's what it does is it walks you through setting your boundaries. So first, in the first step of the exercise, it's a little workbook. But in the first part of the exercise, first is going to have you determine why do you want this boundary? Because you
Okay.
have to know why. You have to know the reason why you want this boundary and
Mhm.
what you want that boundary to look like. So
Okay.
first you got to recognize you need boundaries, right?
Right.
So that's what it does. It helps you to recognize where you need boundaries. And then
Mhm.
the second part helps you to know how to communicate this. So it walks you through an exercise of writing your boundary out
Oh,
so
okay.
that you can now tell the person that that you're setting the boundaries with. So it's like a process of working through what you want to do and how you want to
Mhm.
say it before delivering it.
Oh, that makes sense. I love
Mhm.
that. I love the practice portion of it. I mean, that's one of the things that I teach people all the time when they're trying to be more visible and go on camera. Practice what you're going to say first before you actually do it.
Yeah.
Then it makes it a lot less pressure
Yes.
on you. So it sounds like it's the same thing. So thank you for that. And so you guys, the link is in the comments. And for anyone who is new to me, I have a gift for you also. It's videostocash.com. And that is a guide. It is my 5 ways that you can turn your content into cash because, we want to do the things, but you also want to get paid to do the things.
Right.
So,
Right.
you don't necessarily want to do them all for free. So,
Take the walls down.
exactly. Take those walls down. One of my boundaries is that I don't work for free.
Yes.
So there we go. All right. Well, TammyRenee, thank you so much for all of your expertise and your advice, your wisdom, your philosophies. It has been great. You guys, go and check her out. All of her socials are in the description of the video.
In the
So
comments, in the description.
yeah, I mean it's everywhere. If you
Right.
can't find her, then you're not looking. So yeah, that's all there is to that. All right. So TammyRenee, thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the chats here and we will be sure to answer them for you. Just tag us so no one misses what it is that you want to know and set those boundaries and align your purpose and your ambition and have an amazing life. And
Yes.
this is the last midweek chat of 2024.
Can you
So
believe
I
it?
know it's crazy town. So you guys have a great holiday season. Happy New Year. We will see you back here. I think January 7th is the first one or the third or something. I don't know dates. They
Somewhere
confuse
in
me.
January.
Somewhere around there after the first of the year. I will talk with you guys soon.